Somewhere over the rainbow, birds fly over the rainbow.
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my ranking for my top 10 favorite movies of 2011. This is part of a series I'm doing where I rank my 10 favorite movies of each year since I was born, and this week it's for the year 2011. So that was a year that I don't feel was like one of the best years for movies. There were some good ones, but it wasn't one of my favorite years for movies. So there's a lot of mainstream ones in this top 10 list and everything. I didn't see a lot of independent ones that year and everything, but I'm going to go ahead and get going on this. Coming in at number 10 is Rango. This is a animated movie from Nickelodeon that stars Johnny Depp as this little lizard who goes into this little desert town that is like a little western town, and he kind of takes over and is there to protect the town and stuff and everything, claiming to be this big hero when really and truly he doesn't know anything that he's doing. He's making everything up as he goes along. And it's a really fun movie. You've seen movies like this and stuff before, but it's just a fun one and everything. Johnny Depp is absolutely hilarious as Rango. He does a really great job doing his voice, and the character is just really lovable, and all the side characters are really likable too, and it's got a good villain, and it's a pretty good movie. So Rango is number 10, and number 9 is The Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn Part 1. I enjoy this movie quite a bit. It's actually one of my favorites in the franchise and everything, probably my third favorite after the first two. But I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. It's got a good story. Finally getting to see Edward and Bella get married was a lot of fun and everything, and the whole her getting pregnant and stuff is an interesting concept and everything. There are things in here I don't like. I don't really like that Jacob imprints on Renesmee, but I still think that it's a good movie aside from that very weird ass flaw. But it's still a good movie and everything. So The Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn Part 1 is number 9. And number 8 is Fast 5. I absolutely love this movie. This is the movie that really got the Fast movies going again and stuff. And while it was, I still feel like the fourth one is the one that brought the series back to where it needed to be. This is the movie that really got the franchise going and became a fun action heist franchise instead of just speed racing and stuff, or street racing, I mean. And I love this movie. It's a ton of fun. You bring in The Rock as the villain and everything. It's great and everything. So Fast 5 is number 8, and number 7 is Scream 4. I love this movie. I think this is one of the best movies in the franchise. I've always enjoyed this one quite a bit. I love the story. Emma Roberts as Jill is really good and everything. I love her whole story. I think she's a great Ghostface and everything. I love her, and it's Hayden Panettiere is really great in here as Kirby. I'm glad they brought her back for Scream 6. And this is a really fun story of Sydney going back to her hometown and stuff. Being back in Woodsboro is a lot of fun, and it's a good time. So Scream 4 is number 7, and number 6 is Captain America: The First Avenger. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of the Captain America franchise in the MCU. I really like all 3 of the movies quite a bit and everything. And this was a really good way to start the trilogy and everything. I love the World War II setting, and the look and feel of the movie is really good. It's different than other MCU movies and everything. Joe Johnston has a really good, distinct style that he brings to the movie. And it was a good introduction to Chris Evans' version of Steve Rogers and Captain America. I thought he was really good and everything. I really like Bucky and Peggy, and all of the side characters are really likable. Tommy Lee Jones' character and Hugo Weaving was really good as Red Skull, even though he didn't like playing the role and everything. I thought he did a good job playing the character. and I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. So Captain America: The First Avenger is number 6, and number 5 is Thor. I really enjoy this movie quite a bit. I think this is one of the more underrated MCU movies, especially out of Phase 1. It's probably the most underrated one out of Phase 1 to me. I love the fish out of water story of Thor being on Earth, not knowing what to do because he's stripped of his powers and everything. I love that. And I love his redemption by the end of the movie, and his relationship with Jane Foster isn't the best. Him and Natalie Portman don't have the best chemistry, but I do still like the character Jane Foster and everything, and I like the side characters. Loki is a pretty good villain, and this is just a really, really good movie and everything. It's one of the most underrated MCU movies. So Thor is number 5, and number 4 is The Muppets. This is the revival of the Muppet franchise. It didn't last very long in the 2010s. They really tried to bring them back, and it didn't really work out as good as it could have, but man, it had a great start. This movie is a ton of fun. I absolutely love this movie. Jason Segel is one of my favorite comedic actors, and when I heard he was doing a Muppet movie, I was like, this could be interesting, and he was absolutely great in here. I absolutely loved him in this movie. He's absolutely hilarious. Walter is a really lovable new Muppet character. The songs in here are great. I love the Manor of Muppet song. It's absolutely great and everything. And this is just a really fun movie. So The Muppets is number 4, and number 3 is Just Go With It. This is the one that I've actually just reviewed not too long ago and everything. I forgot how much I like this movie. It almost didn't make this list and everything, and I rearranged my list to add this one on there because I really enjoyed this movie and forgot how much I like it. It's really fun rom-com with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston and everything. They're really great in here. Brooklyn Decker and Nick Swardson are also really good in this movie too, and the 2 kids. One's Bailey Madison, and I can't remember the boy's name. But they're all really good in this movie. They all work great together and are really believable as these characters together, and it's a really good time and everything. And I love the Hawaii setting. I love movies set in Hawaii for some reason. I've always wanted to go there and everything. I love movies that take me to Hawaii, and I feel like I'm just visiting and stuff while I'm watching the movie, and this is one of those movies that does that and everything. So Just Go With It is number 3, and number 2 is War Horse. This is a very underrated war movie with from Steven Spielberg that kind of just came out and came and went. It didn't really become a big hit or anything. It wasn't really talked about much or anything. And I feel like this movie is underrated. I don't remember if it got any Oscar nominations and stuff. It definitely would have deserved it if it did and everything. And I think this movie is very underrated. The story is pretty much about this horse that gets stuck in the war, and it's I think World War One, and it's trying to survive throughout this war and get back home to its owner and everything. It's just a really good story and everything. It's got a great cast, wonderful acting, and beautiful cinematography. Spielberg's directing is amazing, and this is just a really, really underrated movie. So War Horse is number 2. But my number 1 favorite movie of 2011 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This was a really, really great finale to the Harry Potter franchise, a franchise that I was in love with for 10 years when it first started, and watched it all the way up until it ended, and I was in love with this franchise, and I still do love this franchise. I watch it at least once a year and everything, and this movie was a great grand finale to the franchise and everything. It gave fans everything that we wanted, although I do feel like the way that Voldemort died should have just been done like it was in the book. It would have been a little bit more satisfying for me personally. I didn't like that he turned to ash and stuff, but that's really the only complaint I have on this movie. I love this one. It's a really good ending to the franchise, and they did a great job at adapting the end of the the book and everything, and it's a really good one and everything. So Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is easily my favorite movie of 2011 and everything. It is the movie that I felt like my childhood ended when the credits started rolling on this movie when I saw it for the first time. I was officially done being a kid. But I absolutely love this movie, and it's always a fun watch when I revisit it and everything. So it's number one. So anyway, let me know in the comments what your favorite movies of 2011 are. If you don't want to do a full ranking, just tell me your favorite. If you want to even tell me your least favorite too and everything. But I'd love to hear what your favorite movies are. Hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.